Welcome, everybody, to a special episode of the Popcorn Watchlist podcast where we discuss and celebrate our favorites in TV and film. I am your host, Xavier, who does not botch his intros. That's on record. And with me in the studio are the guys. Say hello, Anthony.
Hello, Anthony.
Got Danny, our info guy, on the other end of the
What's
couch.
up?
And in his same funky little chair is Zach. Say hello.
This is a gray, funky little chair.
It is actually a great funky little
Hello.
chair. You're right.
Funky Buddha chair.
Funky Buddha chair. No, we're not the beer podcast. But yeah.
We can be.
That's our sister group.
Big shout out to Outdoors Barbecues and Brews. They got some great content going on. But today, you guys are all here watching and listening to discuss our. I can't even speak. This movie was insane. We're here about our special John Wick Chapter 4 episode. And I can speak for everybody that this movie was incredible. All right, that's it. End of episode. No, but
Good night.
that's it. We're done. No, so yeah, stick around. We're gonna talk about our favorite things that we noticed, little details that we found out after the fact, and overall amazing impressions about John Wick Chapter 4. There will be some minor spoilers, so if you have not seen this yet, I don't know what you're doing with your life. Go and watch the movie.
All the spoilers.
Watch it now. You have been warned.
Yeah, this is a spoiler podcast.
As the Harbinger, played by Clancy Brown's going to show up. It's like, you have 1 hour. And that's it. See, even that's a spoiler. But let's get right to it, guys. Danny, let's go right into the action, just like how the movie goes right into the action. Some pretty amazing stuff, right?
Yeah, so I mean, it starts off just it was in the desert, no?
Yes.
Like starts off going through horses and
Yeah.
just killing people.
John is on horseback. You know, it's great because it shows a little realism in the sense that it is hard to aim on a horse.
Yeah, like he didn't kill them in like 2 seconds. Like
Yeah.
it actually took a little bit.
He did have to run them down a little bit, but he's going after the elder, which is really cool because there's like a replacement elder. So then I kind of thought, hey, maybe John should just be the elder. Then he could be like the unkillable elder. But, you know, with rules being rules,
I don't think he wants to live in the desert.
I think he just wants to have vengeance, retribution more than anything else. That whole scene was cool. It was shot really well. I couldn't tell if it was like some volume / like digital volume or green screen, but
I'm going to assume it was real because they went to a lot of locations in this movie. I know there were some green screens, but
it went back
I
to
wouldn't be
Morocco.
surprised if they went to some form of Tatooine location.
Yeah,
Just do the Mandalorian and go back to Tatooine.
I would also agree with that because nothing in that sequence seemed out of place, like it was fake or obvious that it was a green screen or some kind of like set. But
I was
think they
looking
actually
for
shot.
lighting, and it looked like at least like there was a backdrop where you had John and then the like kind of like canyon stuff in the background, and the light, like you could see shadows on him. But I thought maybe that was just like key lighting or something, some type of other base lighting on set that they put on him, and just had this digital background. I don't know for sure, but it looked great, and the whole sequence was cool too because, you know, we got some more characterization with John back at it after the little tumble he experienced in Chapter 3. And
Little?
little, yeah. Thanks, Winston.
So in Chapter 3, he had to like come close to death for him to find the elder. So how did he find him this time?
Maybe he had somebody else get close to death. I wouldn't put it past
I
him.
wonder how many clips he used to shoot those 3 guys on horseback because they were probably riding for a while. It seemed like there wasn't anything around them.
Good question. I'm pretty sure.
It doesn't matter.
All right, Dwayne
It doesn't
Johnson.
matter.
I'll go on record saying dude was very, you know, in later in parts of the movie, he's not conservative with his ammo at all. But
No.
no, by no means. But
Do you need to be though?
No, not when you keep taking everybody else's.
yeah, it's just bullet scrounging. Wish I could do that.
That old Call of Duty scavenger perk.
Oh, 100%. 100%. And then from there, we get this whole idea of the Bill Skarsgård's character, and
He kills the elder, by the way.
oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but yeah, again, I was trying to Anthony will be the
This
one
is a
dropping.
spoiler podcast.
Yeah.
Don't listen to this if you haven't seen the movie.
Like I warned you
Yeah,
5 minutes
I
ago.
mean,
Yeah, he just straight up kills the man. He's just like, I don't care. And then we get to some cool stuff in New York, and like I think the movie sets up what's going to go down really well, just like as concisely as it is for a movie that's 2 hours and 49 minutes. Like to me, it didn't feel like there was any bloat or anything like that. There were always
very little.
steps on the journey. Maybe a couple conversations here. Like later on, there's a conversation between Winston and the Marquis that's in the museum, or I don't know if his apartment or something. He just has every famous painting known to man, but that's a really cool kind of
It was the Louvre.
sophistication.
Apparently, it was filmed in the Louvre.
So
Yeah,
the
so-
Marquis owns the Louvre.
Well,
Good.
I guess he just rented out that section and put a couch in there. I don't know.
All right, yeah, because I guess he did what Santino did, like with that museum in New York.
Probably.
Yeah, why not?
These
I guess.
people are very rich.
Just, I mean, yeah, they're all rich in gold coins. Because it's the commerce of relationships. I have to keep quoting part
Yeah, it's cool that to see him doing something else after Pennywise.
Yeah, man. He was also like a very little bit in Barbarian, but this one was it's cool to see him ham it up like hardcore in this movie with like the most outrageous French accent.
He did
Almo-
have some cool like scenes. Like you could tell he was like unhinged.
Oh yeah,
for some
everything
parts.
with the trapper.
Yeah.
Yeah, that part was nuts in the livery stable where he's just like,
Mhm.
I need you to prove whose side you're on, and it's just like, damn, that was nuts. He stabs this man in the hand and tells him, you either, if lesser man will, if you pull it out, I'll shoot you dead, but you have to slide it out. That was, and you could tell the whole theater was like, damn, this dude's messed up. That was awesome. But it was cool. Like Anthony said, they went to a lot of on-site locations. I know, like, after everything going on with the establishment of this guy, the Marquis is like sort of like been hired by the table or assigned by the table to high table to take out John Wick. He first has to clean house with Winston and makes an example by bidding farewell to Lance Reddick's character Sharon. Rest in peace, Lance Reddick. And it was a really very powerful statement because that's like a beloved character, and this guy's gonna just cold blood kill this man. It's that sends a statement. Like you can tell a lot of the theater, obviously, because the passing of Lance Reddick, but the way the character goes out, it's powerful.
I mean that, and like the movie starts off with like in memory of
Yep.
Lance, and I think since he dies so early in the movie, I think it hits you more like, oh man.
Yeah, like, man, like that.
Yep. I know. Yeah, that was a narrative choice that I know he was supportive of, and there's stories of Keanu Reeves even on Keanu's birthday, he wanted to go on set to say hi to Lance, so that was really cool. Just a stand-up guy for sure. Then we get to Osaka.
One of the best locations visually in this movie. for sure.
Absolutely. All the neon lights. Like Osaka's known for being like a kind of like a more lively town than Kyoto, for example. So like I'm glad they used Osaka as like a lively it's more of a, not like Tokyo hustle and bustle, but it's more just like Osaka's got character. Osaka's got got more personality, if that makes any sense. And immediately from the establishing shots with the river, I forgot the name of the river, but I knew it was like, oh, this is Osaka, easy. And we find out that Hiroyuki Sanada's character is the concierge of that Continental, and the Continental in Osaka is freaking cool, like 100%, so cool.
Well, he's the manager.
He's a
right?
manager. Yeah.
Sorry, not concierge, the manager. Yeah,
The concierge is
Is
the
his
is his
daughter.
daughter, Akira. Yeah, which I found out she's a famous like Japanese pop singer.
Yeah, I
but-
think this is her first role, which is like nice.
Dude,
She did a great job.
she did great for a lot of like the hardcore action stuff. She was all up in there. They're like I don't I think once like the plot develops and then you see that there are converging characters coming into play. Like even before we get to Osaka, we meet Donnie Yen's character. I thought it was funny that his name was Kane, and he walked around with a walking stick because he's blind. And dude, what an awesome character for Donnie Yen. Like it's like I don't want him to be typecast as all these blind people because Chiro Imwe in Rogue One,
2 for 2.
who had awesome personality. Kane now is somebody who has just very different and unique layers to the character. Like he's not just like, okay, I'm blind assassin, give me whatever. Like you can tell he's reluctant. There's a lot of things going on in his
He's
life.
definitely mastered that type of role.
Mm-hmm. You didn't say his name right.
Kane.
No, you gotta say it like John Wick. Kane. Every time it was like
Kane?
John. Kane.
It's like a
John?
question.
Yeah, John. Like that, and it's cool seeing that all these like top tier badasses are always like intertwined or unique, have a unique relationship, and I love just the implication of their past and the things that they've done beforehand, and it converging onto this because of it's all based off of people's decisions, and decisions and actions and consequences. That's a big theme in this movie or in the whole series anyway. It's just actions and consequences. But you have Shimazu, who's played by Hiroyuki Sanada,
He's too
Kane,
good.
and
He's always good.
dude. But I knew he was gonna be good, but I didn't think he was gonna be this good.
He's always good.
I don't know why I doubted. I never doubt, but I was like, oh, he's gonna be there, maybe just like a stature figure. He does some of his action sequences, especially like when he did Scorpion in Mortal Kombat.
Mhm.
But this dude had everything. Like he went everything from guns to swords to other weapons, and you have these the Marquis forces just kind of show up because John Wick's there at this Continental, and a smorgasbord of just there's so much that goes on. Everything from the hotel staff fighting the goons to Shimazu fighting, Akira fighting, John fighting on the rooftop, and then just everything goes nuts. I feel like I have to gather my thoughts because it's just there's so much going on there.
I saw the movie twice, and I think the movie takes about 10, maybe 15 minutes to do its startup and introductions, and then once the crap hits the fan, then it's almost like a 30-minute action sequence. It's pretty nuts.
Yeah,
That's
all
awesome.
that in Japan is about 30 to I don't know, it's
It's
35 minutes. or
once
something.
it
It's nuts.
ends, it's like the first 40, 45 minutes of the movie.
Yeah,
That's
It's
crazy.
crazy. Yeah,
and it does an amazing.
it doesn't
job.
feel like it.
It doesn't. No, and there's all these different characters have their moments to shine. At everything from John's the shootout. It's like a shootout, but that's on the rooftop. But then the staff is using bows and taking out these guys that and they're shooting them in the neck, so they know that we know their weaknesses, and there's one guy the one guy who was I forgot. I think he was fighting John or something.
Took an
but
arrow
then
to the knee.
He took an arrow to the knee, straight up arrow to the knee, and then he gets punched or something, and so he's hanging by the knee, and then I guess his throat gets slit, and then he just is hanging by the knee. That's it. His lifeless
Oh,
body.
yeah,
I think he
just,
got shot. I think he once the arrow hit his knee, then he got shot in the face, and so his body just dangled while his knee was
Yeah.
still.
that's incredible stunt work. You have to be flexible in order
That
to
stunt
handle
team
that.
mastered the flexibility of
Dude, shout out to the stunt team in general. And also shout out to the fact that the high table forces in Japan have the Oni masks on. I don't know why. That little detail is okay, this is cool. They're regionally sourced. Let's just say that. And dude, and then also it's a great way to establish that Kane is not just some random guy that's oh whatever, blind assassin, whatever. He uses tricks and tools to his advantage, the
doorbell.
the doorbell alarms on all the goons.
That was actually pretty clever because when we were in the theater, X and I were
What
like,
is
oh,
that?
we're like, what is
thought
he
it was a
doing?
bomb.
Putting charges
I
or
thought it was
something?
remote explosives,
Yeah.
GoldenEye or something.
Yeah, and
Or
we're
like a
both kind
trip
of looking
mine
and
almost.
wondering with this, oh, I wonder what he's doing. It looks like charges, and then we see it a few seconds later. The guy walks by and it's a sensor and it just
Doorbell.
brings it. Yeah, it's a doorbell essentially.
And
So that way Kane can know where these people are and he can shoot them or
he's not shooting blind. He can actually shoot in this area. Or what's really cool about
He
Kane
was
is-
shooting blind.
Shut up. You know what I mean. He's not shooting at nothing. And what's cool too is he will shoot at people just to get them moving, so that
Right.
he uses other senses to know where they are, and then goes nuts.
Because he followed like that path
Mhm.
literally. Like
Oh yeah, like the guys follow each and every path.
Like after the first ring, he was waiting for the second ring.
Mhm.
He's like, once that guy
Yeah.
passes, I'm gonna shoot him here in the leg or something like that. It was really cool.
Okay, so
They also introduced once again the badass head of security for this movie. The
the Spanish guy.
yeah, the Latino guy, or I don't know where he's from. Was he from Spain?
No,
Probably.
Marco Zaror. Actually, no, he's from Chile.
Oh,
He's
cool.
from Chile. Sorry.
But
So
the Latino guy
he's the
in
Latino
the
guy.
movie,
But that dude,
dude, he was
awesome.
Yeah, every movie they have to have the big
boss.
henchman that like
There's
gives
the
John
mini.
a problem.
He's always the mini boss.
They
that
always
gives
give John a problem.
And
Yeah, this guy was good.
that guy was even good in fighting the other goons. It was great. Damn, can we talk about the okay, how thankful are you two that you finally got to watch Ip Man before watching this movie?
well, I don't think he saw it.
Oh,
You didn't see that with
you
us?
gotta watch it.
I saw it with you guys.
Yeah, you gotta
How
watch it.
how good was it, Danny, that you watched Ip Man and then you went to that sequence?
I had more appreciation for Donnie Yen.
Mm-hmm. he
Dude,
did
Zach,
the flurry punches.
the flurry punches, that guy just
He did that one time, and the guy sitting next to me was like, "Oh."
Those are real. Like,
Yeah.
there's some people that may think like, oh, they were maybe speeding up his
no,
punch. It's like, no, he punches that fast.
yeah,
Like,
everything
that's crazy.
Donnie Yen does is legit. Do not question Donnie Yen at all. And a great showcase on everything. Then you have, I don't know if this felt like a 12-minute fight scene with John in the that little showroom area with the glass panels.
Mhm.
He's
I feel like
shooting
they
out
have
people.
that in every movie.
Some form
The
of
glass
every
panel.
he has to
Continental.
get thrown through 10 things of glass in each movie.
It's in every Continental. You have to have this nice showroom that's regionally
that's true.
specific.
Because it is in the Continental.
Yeah, and so like the goons, like he's shooting them to just suppressive fire, like in part 3, where they're just staying
They're-
down and he takes
Mhm.
them out,
Yeah, because they also have a lot of armor on, so a lot of the bullets aren't doing anything. They're just
knocking them down.
Yeah.
And then he breaks, I think, one of the showpieces, and he just grabs the nunchaku, and this just became a whole different movie.
Came Ninja Gaiden.
This, oh my god! But the thing is, it's the movement wasn't sped up. It was easy to follow, but
Mhm.
it was still something that that Keanu Reeves trained in, and that there's a fight choreography to it. So it felt like really realistic and down to earth on it. And it was, I think, I don't know, like I've seen other movies where they'll use nunchaku and they're either like sped up, it's the movement is amplified by a whole bunch of sound of like the sound effect of them supposed to be moving through the air. And actually this movie has less of that, so it's just more easier to follow.
Like it looked like he was proficient with it, but he wasn't like a master at it. Not like a lot of the other weapons that he's used in the past, where it just seems like he's really good at multiple different martial arts
Like, it's
and
better
different
than
weapons. Yeah, it's like, okay, I did train with these, but not that much, so I'm decent. I'm pretty good with these.
Yeah, and
Same
what's
thing
getting
like in the third movie, I think he was using a sword, so like he used the sword pretty good for some of those, but I think the other guys were clearly better with the sword, and
he's not a master,
and then he
but
always switches to like what he's good at.
he which is all the sambo,
Mhm.
aikido, and judo moves. He is proficient enough in the weapon that with his grit and experience, it carries him through all of his fights. I think Anthony and I think shouted out, what is it we shout out like, oh, my games, every time when he went for the fake out and the nunchuck hit. The guy's like,
I think he faked hitting his face, and the guy like covered his face, and then he just like smacked him in the balls.
Like he got scared,
Yeah.
and I was like, "Oh."
That was like a very Jackie Chan moment. That's Jackie Chan
Yeah.
does that in a lot of
Like-
his movies.
That's another thing about, if we're talking about main general thoughts in the movie, is there is physical comedy in a situation where it's not supposed to be funny, but like you could still appreciate the humor in that. Oh, okay, like it's clever. It's not like it's supposed to be this super funny, haha, laugh out loud moment. It's more of like it's a chuckle, but also an appreciation because the character is using their wit to get through the situation.
It's also funny in the excessiveness Like the scene right before he gets the nunchucks, he's fighting two guys and he keeps hitting one toward the drum. And then while that guy's knocked out, like on the drum, he goes to the other guy and he's doing all these moves. And then when the guy on the drum comes back to try to hit him, and I think he pushes him back.
And the
He either,
hits hitting the drum.
he either shoots him or stabs him and throws him back to the drum like 5 times. And so like it was like a good 2 minutes of fighting these two specific guards for no reason.
And again,
It was funny.
And then a lot of people really appreciate these movies because it shows that John Wick isn't like, yeah, he's a one-man killing machine, but he's by no means like completely invincible, and nor does he get through the fight unscathed. Like he's gonna have some cuts, some bruises, maybe
all the time.
a lot of bruises, like that club in Germany. Like, dude,
All the memes of people dancing in the background while you're
while John Wick's taking out guards, you're just Toby Maguire dancing, doing something really stupid. That's my favorite.
and then we had that new character, Killer. In
Scott
Germany.
Atkins.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's Scott Atkins, dude. I was so blown away that they're gonna put somebody as tenured in the action movie realm as Scott Atkins in a fat suit, and they're just like, yeah, we're gonna put you in a fat suit and give you more material to chew on. And his whole poker scene in his club, but you have basically like it's set up the ultimate like conflict of the movie really well, and he's plays a foil to what everybody's looking for, and it was really unique to see it set up that way. And like, oh, we're not just gonna straight up fight everybody right now. It's gonna be this card game, and the card game tells you about this character Killa too, and I don't know, like it's just little things like that. This movie is what helps the series shine. There's so much attention to detail, small little bits of character development or character reveal based off of just little actions. Not so much their monologuing, but the little actions they do too. It's really good.
Yeah. I really like I think they've been doing this since the second movie, but I feel like each movie keeps escalating that it just feels more like a video game. And so like there's this like really long level or action set piece, and then it's like, all right, now it's like the side quest. Okay, oh, you have to do this in order for me to give you this. And so it's like after the Osaka sequence, then they're like, hey, well, you can do this, and you can just what do you call it? Fight this guy in single combat. And but in order to do that, you have to go here, and then that's why he ends up in Germany.
I don't know why,
Yeah.
but it kind
It's
of
like,
it kind of gave me Batman Arkham vibes
Mhm.
a little bit. Like when it comes to the combat, with having John Wick jump between a goon, like back and forth, it kind of reminds you of if you ever played the Batman Arkham games,
Mhm.
where you're having to do these like these combo attacks where you're jumping from one goon, punching them or kicking them, and then
Hit him with a gadget, jump over him, hit him
yeah.
with your cape,
and then you go to the
throw,
next goon, you're punching them, and you jump back to another one.
times
you
8
him with an-
takedown,
hit him with an
Yeah.
uppercut.
but then
hit him with a
also hit
jab.
Y to counter. Yeah, 100%.
And then also with like what Anthony was saying about all these side quests, you go somewhere and then you find out you have to go out somewhere
Mhm.
else to do something. You go there, and you have to do another thing.
Yeah,
'cause-
Winston's
Stop
like,
to talk
remember,
to one guy.
yeah, he's like, remember, you have a family that sits at the table. You just have to kind of go back into the family. Now you have to go to Germany and do all this, and then his family's like, you're not a part of our family. We'll let you back in if you do this. And so it's like the next 40 minutes of the movie.
And then that little side quest puts him at odds and in the sights of both the tracker and Kane. And he has to go through all this stuff while kind of dodging them at the same time. And they have to kind of fight their own way out of this cool like bumping club in Germany. There's this very brutal architecture. But then part of that whole sequence is because that part is right after Osaka. John talks to Winston, and Winston shows Sharon's gravestone, and they have their waxing poetic about what the next step is. And John, have you thought this through? What's going to happen?
Yeah.
Everything with
That's
the marquee.
Half of his dialogue in this movie.
And, Ian
Yeah.
McShane
Very
Just-
minimalist.
Just you must beat him at his own rules. That's a terrible Ian McShane. I can't do it.
Consequences.
My dear boy John, you've not learned that the actions have consequences.
Yeah.
And Sharon had to pay for ours. Like that. It's just Ian McShane is just awesome. Like anything he's in, you gotta watch it. Like he actually made. I'll go on record with this. He actually made the Rock Hercules movie
Mhm.
more entertaining. I've never heard others like production stories of that movie, but I want to see if there were any like Ian McShane, Dwayne Johnson like interactions in the past, but that's for a different day. And so yeah, like Anthony said, it took us to Germany. And this fight sequence was really cool because the
This
guy
it's
that
Act 2. Like there's like 3 long
acts
sections in this movie.
in a 2 hour and 49-minute movie.
Yeah.
We didn't talk about how another way to establish that Kane is truly that guy that can take on John is that he in single combat defeats Shimazu in that Continental.
That's right.
And how
Reluctantly, he really didn't want to.
No, he's just like, please just stop. Like just go, just tell me where he's going. And he was fighting him off and beating him because he was already kind of injured anyway, and he knows he has to do it because his whole situation with his daughter. But he
I didn't understand that though. Why Kane was letting him go. He's like, all right, I know, like I already beat you. Like you can just stop. Like he gave him the out. So why did he just continue?
I think honor demanded it. The friendship that he had with John is like, I have to try my best to make sure he doesn't go after John, that kind of thing.
Or at least slow him
He did
down.
anyway. I mean,
I know, but honor dictated it. And then how, again, stone cold badass moment where he does the Kill Bill thing.
mhm.
He tells Akira like, "Oh, I'll be waiting for you." So
He's like, just go live your life.
just
He's
go-
like, but I know,
but,
you're
yeah.
gonna come back at some point.
so I'll be waiting. And man, and that fight sequence in that space was so cool.
Great acting too. Like you could see that, like Kane's character, like he did not want to do that, and like he was even crying, like after he killed his supposed like friend or
Yeah,
colleague
it's their friend,
in the
but-
assassin game. Like
Yeah, but rules are rules.
yeah. he's like, I have to do
not-
this.
yeah,
He has to do this because he's trying to save his daughter.
I will do what I must.
Yeah, exactly. I will do what I must, Obi-Wan style. Yeah, I want to talk about Scott Adkins in a fat suit.
I can't believe they did that.
I'm still flabbergasted. I don't think these guys have seen anything that Scott Adkins has been in.
I don't think so.
Baba Yaga.
Yeah, and with his hilarious German accent. And at first I'm like, oh, he's not gonna do anything. He's gonna maybe do some big body moves or like kind of like the Mike Tyson thing from Ip Man 3, where he's just gonna try to box. And so he did some of that. I was like, okay, yeah, that's what's going on. And then he hits this man with a roundhouse kick.
It's like, man, it's a good makeup. I was confused how he was able to do that, like in his fat suit.
It's
He wasn't Doctor Strange.
Okay, I was just about to say
Which one?
that
The first
because I
one?
saw a picture
The first one.
Was he
where-
one of the henchmen of the bad guy?
of I forgot his name now. But yeah.
talking about the character. You want to know the
And
character?
and he's
Or
in
the-
Ip Man 4.
Yeah, yeah.
No, he's
We know-
the bad guy in Ip Man 4.
Yeah, we know he's like an American drill instructor that he just
I think he's a general, and he has
he's
to
a colonel or something.
something like that, and he has to fight him at the end.
Basically, it's like Ip Man's son is being bullied, or I don't know. Like it's
Yeah,
It's
number
interesting.
4 was weird.
before is weird, but yeah, homie whooped that ass for a little bit. And he even did the spinning heel kick too.
Right, like he's
did
in a
all the
lot of
stuff.
like B action movies, a lot of those direct to DVD or streaming movies, but he's very widely known in the action movie community and also the stunt community. So that's very cool. To kind of like a mini Expendables of action movie stars in this movie.
I mean, yeah, like Hiroyuki Sanada has been doing his stuff, and
I mean, he's kind of typecast as some form of samurai. He's been in a lot of sword wielding roles. So
Bullet Train. Anyone?
Bullet Train, which I think was the same director, right?
David Leitch.
Well, David
No.
Leitch helped do the first one.
No, this was Stahelski.
No, I know, but
This-
Stahelski and Leitch did the first John Wick,
Let me think.
but he was in the Wolverine, the Japanese one. He was
Oh yeah,
the father.
yeah. Stahelski was.
He was in The Last Samurai. He was a samurai in that movie.
Oh, he was badass in that
Yeah.
movie. Dude, yeah, he's just badass. Like
He
Go watch-
was in that one scene in Endgame when he gets killed by Jeremy Renner.
that was not badass, but
and they were fighting with swords.
fighting was
'Cause
For
he
like
was-
2 seconds.
Yeah, because he was, I guess, a Yakuza.
watch
boss.
watch the 2021 Mortal Kombat, and then you see him actually fight
Right,
with like
Scorpion.
a kunai and chain, and just thought
He was
it'd be
also
a-
in Lost.
he was also in Lost.
Not a samurai.
Not
though.
samurai, but a really good actor in that too.
He's just good in everything he's in.
If you see a movie and Hiroyuki Sanada's in it, go watch it. Like that's kind of the rule now. Like that's our established rule. If he's in it, watch it.
He's in Mazda commercials now.
Watch it.
Yeah.
Watch the Mazda commercial. Buy a Mazda now.
It's kind of weird because I'm watching like YouTube videos about John Wick 4, and then the ads in that video are Mazda commercials with him in it. I'm like, oh, nice. I see what you're doing.
I see what you're.
Kind of weird, but I see what you're doing.
Nah, man, it's cool. Then yeah, he ends up getting the proof of death from Killa, but not easy. Didn't do it easy at all. Like that was a rough fight for John. Like he's just getting carried by adrenaline at this point because just like in part 1, he fell down from the second floor of a
God, dude.
club.
I like the slow build up of them playing their hand. What game were they playing? I know they were playing some form of poker. Was it just standard 5 card?
Standard 5-card.
Yeah. No
poker.
Texas.
Not Texas. What was really funny about that is that sequence. This is you can tell that Donnie Yen had these really like more insight to the character or gave more flavor to the character. Is that like he's kind of a smartass and he's over a lot of it, and so they're going through all their hands, and then
How did he know
Killis-
what cards he had?
Yeah.
because like I don't know.
Were
That's
they
the best part. He's just
Braille
like,
cards? I don't-
he's just here like, oh, I know. I just know the cards. Don't ask that part. I won't ask a question.
I'll accept it.
I was fine with him saying like, let me guess, he has 5 of kind at the end. It's like, yeah, he could, judging by how like everybody's reaction was, he's like, that's probably the only hand.
Yeah, he's like, oh, he
Royal
must have
flush,
something really
so.
stupid. Like, cause the tracker had the royal flush. I was like, damn, that's it. You win. You win the
all
game.
lose.
Yeah.
But it didn't happen.
But no,
I
Killa's like,
win.
yeah, Killa hits him with a 5-2s, and that's great. Kane's there blind, just sitting there and like, let me guess, he has 5 of a kind, like just something stupid.
Yeah.
I thought he'd be like legit about it and play the Joker and be like, I can be whatever I want. I win. Like it's like another 2, but
And then they
I don't know
break
if
out
that's the
into
rule.
a massive fight.
And then massive fight. Oh, can we talk about the tracker's dog?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Very
Reeves.
similar
Another
to
German
the third
Shepherd, right?
movie.
a German. I think believe so.
German Shepherd, not
I
a
think so.
Malinois or
Well, I don't
Look,
know.
you know the dog stuff.
I don't know.
You're a dog
it
guy,
looked more
Zach.
like a
It looked similar to the dogs in the third movie. I don't know what kind of dogs those were.
I don't remember.
Halle
I
Berry's
feel like
dogs?
I feel like in the third movie that I think they were also either Malinois or German Shepherds, but I think this one was more like a Malinois. But I could be wrong.
You think it
'Cause
was
they look
one
similar,
of the 2
just-
dogs? You think this guy's at all related to Halle Berry?
at first
That'd
that's
be
what I was
interesting if
thinking.
it was.
Maybe at some point he might have given the dog, but
No, I don't think so. I know she.
okay, yeah, it is a Malinois.
It is a Malinois. Yeah.
Okay.
A Belgian Malinois.
Belgian.
And all his commands though were in English, right?
Yeah.
Nuts.
Nuts.
Just nuts.
Nuts.
Attack the nuts.
Nuts.
That dog.
The best
loved it.
command.
Dog is crazy.
That was probably the best command. Yeah, that dog is also invincible. That dog cannot die.
I mean, he's the John Wick of dogs.
Yeah.
Cars don't matter. Cars don't matter.
Dude, the whole theater. We haven't even got to France yet,
Yeah,
but
let's
like,
finish the
let's finish the
club
Germany
scene
sequence. Yeah.
where everybody's dancing and nobody cares.
And nobody cares that they're getting shot. They're just like, whatever. It's not me. Like, I'm good. Because like, I guess they knew that's the club staff getting got, and they're like, all right, whatever. I'm just gonna be in my corner and dance. And then at the end of it, when he finally kills Killa, which I find that conversation funny, everybody then starts to shuffle out. And
I mean,
again,
he fell
after After 30
the
minutes
second
of
floor.
him killing like 150 people.
This man, yeah, this every time John falls, I'm like, that's it. It's the end of the movie. Like those.
Well, they
falls,
both fell, and then Killa or Keela, I don't know how it was pronounced.
Yes, broke his neck.
Just straight up
Yeah.
lands on
Yeah,
his neck.
don't
That was a
land,
brutal
don't land
one.
on your head. Yeah.
Don't hand on your neck. That was great though. And the tracker has this kind of bounty that the Marquis gave him, and at the same
He
time,
wants it higher.
yeah,
Yeah.
every time he calls him, he's like, "Give me more money." Like, especially like he knows the market demands. if
Did
that
they
makes
ever
any
say
sense.
what his deal was though? Because he's been tracking him throughout this movie, and it seems like he's been tracking him for a while, and he's just like waiting for the bounty to go higher on him.
Yep.
So it's like, but why does he want the money? Just for money, or does he need the money for something specific? Did they ever say anything like that?
I think it's just he.
He just wants a lot of money,
he
and he
knows
knows this
his
guy's gonna be
skills.
worth a lot.
Yeah, that he, especially that to see, he's kind of priming the market, if that
Mhm.
makes any sense. That he's helping John still get away to then drive up the price, so then
Mhm.
he can be
So
the
then
one
he
to
could
cash
go
in.
in. Yeah.
He's like,
That's
I
his
know I
main
can
deal.
get you at any point because I'm not good, but he's like, you're not up to par yet.
Yeah, it's like you're not where it's really worth it. If like I don't know, like for example, after
Because at the beginning of the movie, I think he was what, like at 18 million or something like that.
yeah, it's like there's at 18 because the same. What was the bounty at the end of 3? Was it 18, right?
I don't know. I just
It was
remember in this
14.
movie,
First was like 14.
at some point in this movie, he was 18, and so I figured that's the beginning
Yeah,
of
it
the
was
movie.
one of the first ones. But I think the last movie ended like around 14 or 15 million.
Yeah. So they're just like, I'm getting desperate. Rank up another 3 million for killing the elder, and go nuts. Literally, because this guy said nuts. So
He has a cool gun.
yes,
What type of gun is that? Some like
was it the
Did-
revolver or
no,
the?
he had like a detachable shotgun. I don't know. It was a
Shotgun
weird gun.
sniper.
It was like a
Almost.
revolver shotgun. I don't know. It was a mixture. I don't know what type of gun that is.
Yeah, the weapons, the guns,
And he took it apart pretty easily, so it was
Yeah,
like a
the-
compact
yeah.
shotgun.
the martial arts and the weapons were really unique. Like Kane's walking stick turns also basically into like a Chinese Dao sword. So when he would do his kills, he'd just do the double stab on the heart. That was really clean and
Mhm.
efficient. The tracker had all his gear. Was it the reversible backpack? That also was like a body body armor.
Mhm.
That was dope.
Didn't it explode
And he also had-
at one point?
No, he also had weapons on there. So
Yeah.
it's like a Kevlar pack / I'm holding small guns on here.
Yeah, he flipped it over, then
Mhm.
grabbed guns out, and then kept going. It was that little things like that, like just make it just again
Like,
just
who
character
is this guy?
development. Yeah, like it's so much mystique to the
It was
character.
good, like 2 different additions to the movie
Mhm.
that brought in like totally different styles.
Right.
Yeah, it's not just the
Oh yeah.
the John Wick
Akira's-
rough and tumble.
Yeah.
That's judo aikido to shoot dead.
Well, Moto, even Akira had a different fighting style too, and like she showcased her, like since she's short in stature, she was able to like duck under all these huge guys'
She climbed that one
swings.
guy.
Yeah, she was pretty much like doing like the Black Widow, like moving all around, like while like hunched and like just fast moving all around people. It was really cool.
Yeah. Can we talk really quickly about like how this movie's like sort of the evolution and culmination of all these really awesome like establishing shots.
Mm-hmm.
So everything we talked about the museum, but when they finally meet up and
The like 5-minute walk of
no,
Winston in that one scene, that like the scene in the Louvre, where it's literally just a tracking shot of him walking to the marquee, and it's like at least like a minute of screen time of him walking just through this long hall.
But, like,
that's awesome.
the Marquis' office when they overlook the Continental getting blown up, like
Mhm.
the way that the light shone into the office, the lighting and the establishment of when John meets up with the Marquis and they set up the rules for the duel. All of these like environment shots that are outdoors or even framed in that way are so cool. They were and it's like it's done in an aesthetically pleasing way. It keeps this kind of like sophisticated style to what is in essence really like a just an action movie, but
Yeah.
it elevates it to
Yeah,
just the
it's-
next level.
Cinematography was on point.
Yeah, really, really was.
Like
Trying to think of one other
most
sequence.
most action movies kind of go away from this. Like, well, we're gonna spend all of our time and focus on the action, and let's just forget about the other stuff. And these
Yeah.
movies are like, nah, we're gonna make this look good.
Yeah,
Like,
I know.
that adds to the style of everything else.
I know there was another scene, like obviously the desert in the beginning, but Danny, I know there's another scene I think you mentioned that had a really great cinematography in it, and really just, it was somewhere else in I think it might have been France. I'm not sure, but maybe there's a scene that we're missing.
Maybe when they're in the Sacre-Cœur.
Well, that's at the end.
But I don't know. Like
Oh,
they had
yeah.
some sunrise and sunsets.
Yeah.
Like
Well,
throughout the movie though.
Well, when they have to go and establish the terms,
Oh, like by the
Yep.
Eiffel Tower.
that was really nice.
Or the what about again? I also
And I
shots
have a
in
feeling
the
that
Osaka
was real.
Continental
Like, I think that was like they filmed there. I don't think that was a green
at
screen.
that time. I
Yeah.
think so. I think you're right. What
This
about
was shot during COVID, no? Like it was
Yeah, this movie has been done for
for a
at
while.
least 2
Mhm.
years or so. Remember, it was supposed to come out when the fourth Matrix came out.
That's
like,
right. It was the same
month,
day.
and then they delayed it. So
supposed to be in
Smart move.
2021, right? Or is it?
maybe
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
by
2021.
the end of the year 21, and I think they had finished it earlier that year. So.
Yep. And all of that just setting up the whole duel gets to the final gauntlet that John has to run, the almost impossible gauntlet that he has to run from different points in Paris to get to the because of the DJ on
DJ?
the radio. You guys, you've never seen The Warriors, right?
Mm-mm.
It's an old late 70s action movie, but it's based off of a old Greek story of I think it was the Anabasis, but it's basically about a group of people that have to fight their way through different areas just to get back home. The Warriors, they do it because this guy was trying to unite all the gangs in New York, but he gets assassinated, and it gets pinned on this gang from Coney Island called the Warriors. So it's basically the Warriors having to go throughout the whole city fighting off other gangs because they think that they're the guys who did it and not actually this other gang that they end up fighting at the end. And it's one of those older, like gritty 70s action movies that I also highly recommend. But it's a really cool kind of nod that John Wick does to that movie. At least that's what I think.
Yeah,
It's just crazy
that's
because
cool.
he had to fight so many people to get to like the final boss, let's say.
Yeah,
And
Like,
all
you're
those guys
tired.
getting ready, like they have everything from their gear, their weapons. Then you get the what I call the ultimate Chekhov's gun, the dragon blast,
Dragon's
shotguns,
Breath.
the dragon's breath. Was
Mhm.
they shotgun rounds, right? Like dragon's breath shotgun rounds. That whew,
That scene alone is like
So this is all due to once he got the tooth from Killa, then he became part of the family again of the Russian family. And then after they did their terms, then it was decided, okay, you need to meet at the Sacre-Cœur by
sunrise,
sunrise.
6:03 a.m.
Right. So then it was like, okay, and then it's like the gauntlet of anything and everything to get there before sunrise. And so yeah,
TikTok, Mr.
the Marquis like, let me just send out everybody to stop him from getting here, because if he doesn't get there by sunrise, then
Auto
he loses.
forfeit.
Yeah, auto forfeit.
And then he would
and you
be
dead.
killed.
Him and Winston would die. So.
And
And then before we get to the dragon's breath scene, he is going through the
arc.
roundabout.
The
in-
arc.
well, first is I forget what street, but these guys try to jump him around
As
the
he's
cafe
walking.
or anything.
Mhm.
He's walking through. He steals the car and rams this other guy in the other
Yeah.
car, and then takes the Challenger.
And all this is to a French version of Painted Black, which is really cool.
It was really, really
The
cool.
DJ speaking in her, I don't know, her like coded language, and pretty much telling everybody on the streets like,
Where he is.
hey, get John Wick and you'll get a lot of money.
Go over here to John Wick. Go over here. That's where John's going
The
right now.
Wicked Man.
Yeah, the Wicked Man in Black. And then they get to the Arc de Triomphe, and it becomes the most intense game of Frogger I've ever seen. So
There
and-
was one guy that for sure double died.
I
No,
think
he
there was
triple
one guy
died.
that quadruple died
Yeah.
because he gets hit by a car, and while he's flipping, John Wick shoots him
Shoots
three
him, yeah.
times, like until he lands.
and it's like,
So yeah,
and then
I
he
don't know.
lands dead, like
Yeah.
because he lands awful.
He
like,
died.
died
He
on the
probably
landing.
died by the car hit, and then he's like, "Oh, there's also 3 gunshots."
So what I love about that fight was, and I was telling Zach, like as it was happening, it's just like the evolution of how creative they were getting. It's like, okay, first we're gonna fight, and also he's fighting the henchman of the Marquis
Mhm.
at the same time. So he's dogged and relentless too. But they're fighting in between cars. Like these cars are going kind of maybe 15 miles an hour, so like it's gonna hurt, but maybe he's not dead. But and he finally starts realizing like a lot of the judo moves he uses them while the cars are moving. So he's throwing people into moving cars. It was like he said, something out of a video game. It was so unique. It was awesome. Like I haven't seen any other movie do that.
Yeah, the whole last segment is just like, "Oh, you
massive
have
video game.
2 hours to get to this location. Good luck," and the whole city's coming after you.
That's a gauntlet. That's also where the tracker's trying to call the Marquis, and the Marquis is like, "No, I've got it under control. I'm not keeping the price up." So
and he's getting closer and
so
closer.
he's helping John as he's getting closer. Because like, I have him. No,
He's
you're
like,
good."
"He's here. He's gonna be 40 million now."
Yeah, I'll kill him for 40. He's like, no, there's nobody doing that. And then he sees all these people failing, and he's like, fine, 40. And then everyone gets the 40 million bill, and it just goes balls to the wall.
John throws a motorcycle at one point.
That's awesome. Just launched a bike at this guy. But that whole sequence is before the
The
when he takes
roundabout.
he steals the car and then destroys the doors of both doors of his
Yep.
car, and then drifts donuts around a couple of goons who are trying to shoot him.
he had
And
unlimited ammo.
I think he goes around them like 4 times.
Unlimited ammo.
And then he
I
just
never saw
shoots
him
all of 'em.
reload. And he's just like unlimited ammo. Like they gave him a gun that had a high capacity, but not that high. That was insane.
But apparently, Keanu he practiced
Driving and
like
shooting.
Driving,
shooting,
reloading.
and reload, like unloading and reloading while shooting.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be surprised if he did do it. You just couldn't see it, but yeah, it just seemed like he just kept shooting while he was circling,
I'm gonna have to rewatch
doing
it.
donuts in the middle of the street.
Yeah,
But,
I have to.
That scene was hilarious. Like it was awesome, and then it went on for a little too long, and then it just became funny because it's like he's still circling and shooting these people,
Yeah, and then that's where it then transitions to them moving into that
like apartment building.
warehouse,
Or, yeah,
That
wherever.
warehouse.
Um,
It was like in a
warehouse.
Oh my god,
not
that's-
warehouse, but like
It seemed like
It was some kind of building.
yeah,
Like
I guess
some kind of
building,
abandoned
yeah.
I don't know.
building.
where you do get the dragon's breath and overhead
The sequence is
video game
ridiculous.
sequence.
Dude, Anthony,
The highlight.
Yeah,
is-
one of the highlights of the movie is you see the dragon's breath ammo really pay off because these guys are trying to shoot him, and he's using his Kevlar suit to try to block bullets. He can't block fire.
No,
It's not Ghost.
I think one of the guys shot him and missed, and he saw he saw the blast and
And he was
killed
like,
that guy
"Oh,
and took the gun. He's like, "It's mine now."
it's my town."
And that overhead shot was pretty much just one long scene.
yeah,
It was.
They
I
did
think
it twice.
I think it was
There
a
was 2 parts.
simulated.
It
but-
was.
yeah.
It wasn't a
One cut.
complete one cut, but it was close. Like I think they
Yeah.
had one stitch to make it look like it was like one
It's
long
usually.
cut.
I think it's the part where he's reloading and like no one else is on stage.
I don't know. I
or
couldn't
in-
tell. I
in the
tried.
stage.
I tried looking for it the second time I saw it. I still couldn't tell. That scene is just too good.
So initially, I was thinking this is straight out of Hotline Miami, which a
Mhm.
lot of people thought, but it's actually credited that Chad Stahelski had inspiration from a game called Hong Kong Massacre.
The
And
sales on that game are going up.
That game on Steam's gonna go nuts. But yeah, like because of those big blasts of the fire, it really simulated that style of gameplay, and it's also high tension because in those games, is you mess up once, you're dead.
Yeah.
So it adds to that tension. You have this god eye going through the entire, following him through the whole action sequence. You also have Mr. Nobody, the tracker, like going through also in his own way,
Mhm.
Clearing
killing
out some
people too.
people.
Yeah, that was awesome. And then you get the great like the really cool character moment where both of them start fighting each other, but John sees the dog in danger because Chidi, the henchman, he's like about to like murder this dog, and he's just like, not today. So he goes after him, and Mr. Nobody's like, oh, he saved my dog.
Yeah, like John Wick could have shot the tracker and stays like, no, I'm going to save the dog.
And that showed the kind of person that John is, and the tracker's like, you know what? That's worth more than 40 million. That was dope.
Another funny moment in that top down scene. There's one guy that he shoots with the dragon's breath, and the guy is running on fire and like runs around to another door to the same room, and he shoots the guy again. He shoots him twice. It's like, wow,
he double died.
It was
A lot of double
awesome.
dying in this
It
one.
was amazing.
Oh yeah, there's so many great points where like you hear the theater just either
The whole
laugh
sequence
or,
was,
oh,
ooh, whoa, ooh.
oh my god, like yeah, it's amazing. And then we get to the ultimate climb. That's what I like to call, dude. That the staircase sequence.
Or
Well, but he
downfall.
jumps off like the 3rd floor of that building and lands on a van and then hits the floor before he goes to the stairs.
fan broke the fall. Again, this guy's running on pure adrenaline.
Yeah, he doesn't
care.
Cars don't mean anything to
Yeah,
him.
he
so.
doesn't care. And so we get to the motorcycle launching, and then the whole stair sequence where this guy Chidi, he fell down like 3 sets of stairs, but he's still alive and is able to meet him after him going through all these goons up the stairs, which like 3 of them had the same like newspaper.
No, he
cap.
never fell down. Like John met with him after, like they were waiting for him on that
Yeah,
third.
but beforehand when
flight
he
of stairs.
saved the dog, he saved the dog by
Oh
attacking
yeah,
the guy.
and he
fell down
got shot and like flipped.
yeah,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
fell down, but
He didn't land on his head though.
so that's why he's
he's
okay.
good.
But yeah, he's good. And so you can hear the whole theater groan and like freak out because it's a time thing, and he gets to the top of these really long 300 and something steps and just gets knocked his ass down.
And he kept going.
And
Just
going.
no stop.
He
And
could
that
have
was-
stopped. And
He
it was
could
clear
have.
that it was like the stunt guy. Once you get to the flat section, you have to push yourself one more
Just
time.
keep going.
So you keep going. But it was awesome.
And then that's where we get Kane that shows up because he's supposed to be there for the fight. He's the advocate for the Marquis.
Which was a cool touch. Like he helped them like get up.
Yeah, because
I
he's
need
like, I
you
have to
get
kill
the
you,
top."
dude. Like, I can't. Like, I have to come up there with you. So, let's go. And then
The team up.
the team up of Mr. Nobody, Kane, and John just finally taking everybody out. Chidi gets his comeuppance because he attacked the dog. He threw the dog into the car in the Arc de Triomphe fight.
And the car and the dog was like, no.
No,
Didn't he got up and then
Going
started
after him.
growling at him.
yeah.
He didn't do anything.
You did, son. And that was such great payoff to then finally get to the Sacre Coeur, and we get to the duel again, shot really well on Sunrise. They start at 30 paces. Like, I don't want to shortchange the dramatic effect of what's going on here. Like, you get the Marquis. Actually, you get Winston speaking to John. She's like, "Hey, just have fun out there," and then you get the Marquis de Gramont going to Kane. He's like, "Remember, you're doing this for your daughter." Immediately shuts him up. Just says, "Fuck off!" Like, stop. That was so good. His reaction is so natural. It's like, dude, shut the hell up. Get out of my face. I can't even see you, but get out of my face.
And then they had 3 shots to get it done.
They had to come closer 10 paces every time.
Every
They
time.
missed.
Didn't die by the shoulder.
I was surprised.
This isn't the Batman.
Or did he?
Mm.
I
So
don't know.
Well, it
But-
wasn't just because of the shoulder.
I think it was.
It was that one.
I mean, but yeah, we get to that awesome finale where, the final shot goes off. Kane shoots John. John falls, but he's not dead. And the Marquis de Gramont, Bill Skarsgård, chewing all the scenery here. He's like, I want the what is it? The coup de grace. I want the coup de grace. And Zach, what does Winston? He gets the gun right up to him. What does Winston remind him? Winston reminds the Marquis, like, as right he's about to shoot, and he's like,
He
"You
didn't.
arrogant
Oh,
bastard!"
he didn't shoot.
Yeah, he didn't shoot. And John's like,
That was the most satisfying headshot in the movie. Everyone in the theater was like,
Everyone in the
'Cause
theater went nuts. for
At
that.
first, I thought John missed because
I caught it.
I only saw the two the two shots, the two wounds that
John
Kane
had.
had. I'm
Yeah,
like,
and they
okay,
just
either he
never
missed or
shot.
something else is going on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was all mind games, as Anthony likes to say.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then John just had like in between the eyes.
And then the Harbinger is like, all right, it's done. He did it. Our business here is concluded.
And-
Never speak to me again.
And
It is-
Kane made sure. He's like, so
I'm free,
me
right?
and my daughter off the hook, right? He's like, yep, you guys are done. Now let me do this final shot to John Wick, and it didn't happen.
Yeah. And that's when John's like, awesome. It's time. That's all I wanted. He found a way for both of them to win. But then we had before the fight, we had a great moment between the Bowery King, Winston, and John. He's talking about, hey, if you end up going, what do you want on your tombstone? And your man just says, loving husband. And
that's what he got.
yeah, he's like, I just want to go home. And you can tell Winston sees him. He's like, man, I don't think he's not looking too hot. And they finally get to the graveyard, and you see John Wick, loving husband, next to his wife, loving wife. I was like, damn,
And they showed some clips between John and his wife, and
that was
Yeah.
dope. And he was
For
on the
memories.
staircase with the sunlight, like
yeah,
kind of like shining on him, thematically showing that, hey, you did it, guy. It's finally done.
And
Good
they,
ending.
They showed the dog from the previous movies.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the dog from 2 and 3 showed
Mhm.
up at the funeral. That was really nice. And that's the movie ends in a nice kind of like catharsis moment of like, hey, John, you finally did it.
Yeah, Lawrence Fishburne had some fun scenes in the few scenes he was in. It was
Oh
cool.
yeah, homie was able to do all that. It was pretty great. But that's the overview of the movie. I know, like, all the action sequences were just top notch. We got a cool post credits where Kane is seeing his daughter perform again in Paris, but you see Akira showing up, kind of rolling up. She's stalking Kane, right about to show up with the knife, and the freaking scene cuts. I'm so mad at that. They pulled a Chris
He gonna
Nolan.
get cut.
They pulled a Chris Nolan.
it's a good tease for what's to come.
Hopefully. We're getting a lot of spin-offs. We're getting Ballerina next year. The Continental might be premiering at the end of this year on Peacock. There's a lot of fun stuff
It
going
is this
down.
year. It is
We
this
just
year.
don't know what
it's
date.
fall, like September-ish.
Yeah, they say September. I'm just in case I'm guessing October, but
And apparently the ballerina takes place between John Wick 3 and 4.
nice. That's dope.
Because I wasn't sure, because all I knew was that it was a spinoff with Anna de Armas, and that supposedly John Wick was gonna be like maybe like cameo in the movie. But I was like, so a little confused, and yeah, they confirmed that it takes place between those two movies.
Nice. So with that, gentlemen, it's rating time.
Just this movie or all of them?
Just this one.
Just this one. Yeah, because there's opinions about how these movies go and rank, but let's stick to John Wick Chapter 4.
Yeah.
So, 10 out of 10 Dragon's Breath shots. Or out of how many Dragon's Breath shots? What do you guys think?
I'm
9.
gonna say a 10
I'm gonna say 9.
So, Danny, you think it's the perfect action movie?
for a John Wick movie. It's a 10 out of 10.
Okay, Anthony.
Yeah, I'd probably give it 9.5. Like it's by far the best action out of all of them. Like the action is just ridiculous, and I thought it would be tiring because like you have such long action scenes and you'd get tired of it. And I was like, nope, you can give me a 5-hour movie like this, and I will not care. Apparently, the original cut of this movie was 3 hours and 45 minutes.
I want that extra hour.
They're like, you got to cut that down.
Nuh-uh. I'm mad.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, I think they intended this to be 2 movies. Like they wanted to film 4 and 5 back to back, and it just didn't end up working out. So they just made a long 4th one. And
Good.
But yeah,
It was worth it.
yeah, it was-
Absolutely worth it.
What about you? Ek?
But yeah,
My turn.
9.5 for
9.5?
sure. Yeah, because I mean I like all 4, but this one I think is
Yeah,
too good.
I'm on the camp that every movie got better.
Mhm.
Like the catacombs scene in part 2, for example, like where he's reloading the shotgun, he has all the weapons planned out, like that, like leveled up the gunplay, the fighting. Anyway, point is, I would say if part 1's like a 8.5, part 2 8.5, part 3 9, I would say part 4 is a 9.5.
Yeah, that's
Hard
very
9.5.
close, very close to that.
I would give it a perfect 10. It's just there were some very small, what are they called?
It's like the
continuity errors.
Yeah,
Very
the
small
story
continuity
the
errors.
story in this one is a little whatever, but it's just the action is just so well done, and everything else is done well done. The cinematography, the music.
The music's insane.
They brought back a lot of songs from the first movie. Like I think the music from the club in this movie was the same from the first movie.
The first one.
So it was kind of like John Wick's greatest hits from
like-
the
yeah.
previous 3 movies.
This is
to
the
this one.
magnum opus of this
it's,
series.
really
The
cool.
only series where every movie just got better and better and better. So hard 9.5. Movie's amazing. Everybody's got to watch it.
Yeah, definitely watch it.
Absolutely.
It's probably one of the best action movies to come out in a long time.
It's like it's now I think in my top 5 of all time action
It's
movies.
very similar to the Raid 2, where it's like the Raid 2 just amped up the Raid 1, and it was also much longer. So I feel like these guys like the Raid 2 so much, like let's make the American version of the Raid 2.
I was joking with somebody that like my top 3 action movies right now are The Predator, or just Predator, like the Arnold Predator, the Raid 2, and now John Wick 4. Like there's just
Pretty good list.
It's got everything I want in an action movie. It's too good. With that, gentlemen, any final thoughts, Zach, Danny?
Go watch it.
Yes.
The biggest screen.
Watch it twice.
Watch
More
it
times.
3 times.
Yeah, watch it multiple times.
I'm gonna watch it again tomorrow.
Yeah, the length. Don't worry about the length. It does not matter. Like you won't even realize it because, yeah, there are long fight sequences, but you don't even realize like, oh, I just watched 45 minutes of the movie, and that was just the first action sequence.
Too damn good.
Go watch it.
All right.
Support Keanu
Support.
and all the stunt people that
Thank
made
you.
this movie ridiculous.
This guy,
Without these stunt people, this movie wouldn't be what it is.
this man stole what I was gonna say. Support all the stunt people. Support the great crew that went into that. All the hard work that the crew did to make this magnum opus of action.
Like all they needed was Tom Cruise. Like they had everybody else in except Tom Cruise doing his stunts.
Was there a long run? Somebody had
In
a
this
long
movie?
run, right?
They had
No.
a long walk.
Yeah, he was hobbling the whole movie because he's injured the whole movie. I
Getting
don't think
hit
he
by
ran.
everything. I could have sworn somebody had like a long run, but might have been the track. No, anyway, it's amazing. Everybody got a chance to shine. Movie looks incredible, shot incredibly. Every action sequence, every set piece has something that's gonna blow your mind and will continue to blow your mind from all the details. Movie's incredible. You have to watch it. It's a must watch. With that, everybody, thank you for tuning in to this special spoiler cast of John Wick Chapter 4. Like the gentleman here next to me said, go watch the movie. If you're listening and seeing spoilers, it doesn't matter at this point. Just watch it for just how well it was made. And we will continue to be talking about this. This movie's too good. But we'll be back next time with our kind of watch list recommendation of, I believe it was Baby Driver.
Yes, it was.
So we'll talk about some other great action and car choreograph and music there too. So stay tuned to that episode, everybody. With that, thank you so much again for tuning in, and stay pop until next time. Keep that popcorn fresh.
Later, guys.
See ya.
Excommunicado.